Every woman and her mother wants a masculine man until a masculine man shows up. Because the idea of a masculine man, a strong, powerful, confident man who leads, that sounds good in theory. But living with and being led by that kind of man is much different than just imagining him. A masculine man isn't just strong when it's convenient for you. He is consistent. He has boundaries, he has direction, and he's not going to bend every time you get emotional. And that's exactly where the confusion starts. Because a lot of women say they want a man who leads until he actually starts leading. And now decisions are being made, standards are being set, and not every feeling gets to control the moment. A masculine man isn't going to argue about every little thing. He will listen to you, he will consider you, but he's not going to let your chaos run the house. He protects his peace, and that's his job. Sometimes that means saying no. Sometimes it means walking away from nonsense. Sometimes it means standing firm when somebody, you, is pushing for drama.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Only in a planet devoid of logic, but it does seem to me that there are a lot of individuals that live on such a planet. Because how much sense does it make to say that a person does not care about the well-being of their fellow human beings simply because they happen to be a different gender, and some members of that gender have done terrible things? How much sense does it make to blame the entire population for the actions of some? But that does seem to be a rather popular thing when it comes to men. Although, if you were to do the same thing to women, because as we all know, there are a great many women who have done terrible things and caused suffering for others, that would be considered sexist. But not in this case. Unfortunately, there are a lot of women that make despising men their entire personality. And it really shows, and I must say it's getting a bit old.
Ladies, it's time to leave the broke boys and men with no direction in the dust. If you're tired of dating men that can't support you or aren't at the level that you are at, you've got to check out Luxy Dating. Luxy is an exclusive community full of high-end and successful individuals. So if you're tired of dating men with no direction, you should check out Luxy Dating.
Men, it's time to leave the dumb who think the average man's salary is 6 figures in the dust. If you're tired of dating annoying independent boss babes who think they're elite when they're average at best, check out Tradwife Dating. It's a community of kind, respectable, childbearing individuals. So if you're tired of dating girls who accuse you of having no direction when they medicate themselves for having no direction themselves, check out Tradwife Dating, where a woman knows her place. You want to say?
Yeah. I think that's like coming from like a lot of women that are unhealed.
Because men are creepy and scary.
They've kind of like chosen like the bad boy image first.
I found, I'm going to say, the love of my life in Nashville.
And thinking that it would work out to being like the guy of their dreams.
And he was about to get married to a girl and all was good.
And then they're unhealed, so they're going to say, yeah, I'm choosing the bear over a guy.
Bear or a man?
A bear. And I feel like a bear would let me go.
Guys hit the gym after a breakup because they think their body was the issue. Bro, you have the emotional intelligence and maturity of a doorknob.
Today we're doing a video on female panders. These are content creators that only make one kind of content where men are always bad and women are good. Women are never held accountable for their actions. They don't know any other way to make content. It's very, very damaging content. I want you to think about that video you just saw. Pretend you're in a relationship and your partner decides after you guys break up to go to the gym, start going to the gym all the time. And you say, hey, you know what? The only reason why they're going to the gym is to get back at me. The only reason why they're going to the gym is to get over the breakup with me. You making them going to the gym about you is called narcissism. The only person who needs to go to therapy is Chris GQ Perry. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways that you can always tell if you're listening to a guy who is a female panderer. The first one, infantilizing female choice.
Everybody's talking about the clip from Inside the Manosphere with Justin Waller, a married man with 2 kids, a third on the way, who boasts about sleeping with other women and having threesomes with his wife. The wife says, well, at least he's honest because in my last relationship, I was lied to.
No, that's not all she said, Vincent. She also talked about the fact that she found women attractive, and that's part of the reason why she enjoys sleeping with other women with her husband. You had to skip over that part because then she is now taking agency for her own decision, and you can't have that. The only narrative that you can have is that she's being manipulated or extorted by her husband. It can't be that she made her own decision to do this.
You say you want a man, but a real man leads. And this is not leadership. Justin, all these male influencer dudes, they do not understand true leadership because leadership is actually simple. Do the people closest to you feel safe? Do they feel chosen? Do they feel led? Safe? No. This guy can leave at any moment, and the second she puts her foot down, he's gone.
Ladies, take a second and just think about what he just said. Now, I happen to know Justin and I know his wife, Kristen, and I know for a fact that she does feel safe. But no, he's telling her that she's too dumb to know that she shouldn't feel safe. I want you to consider the level of arrogance and narcissism to tell someone else that they shouldn't feel safe when they do. This is infantilizing her choices. Once again, I don't understand how any other way you can see this. If she makes the decision to have this arrangement with her husband, why are you blaming her husband? Well, the reason why is because you're making pandering content for women. And what makes this even worse with this content creator, Vincent, is he's trying to use the Christ pill in order to do this. In fact, he's trying to say, oh, this is a Jesus Christ thing. He's trying to use the church in order to say, I'm a good person and I'm here trying to protect women. No, you're just trying to infantilize them, just like every other content creator I'm exposing here. Which leads me to point number 2. There is zero scientific basis in what these guys are saying.
If a woman is single for a long time, like 2 years, 3 years or more, it ain't because something's wrong with her, most likely. More than likely it's because she's intelligent. And that's not to say women who are in relationships or marriages or that get in these relationships quickly are just dumb. What I'm saying is intelligent women, they have the smallest dating pool because they have the least amount of tolerance for BS.
Now, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I looked up the data, and of course, there's no data anywhere stating that a woman, because she's been single for 2 years, is more likely to be intelligent. Obviously, that isn't real. But why does he say that? He says that because he understands there's single women in his audience that he wants to get the approval of, get likes and follows and shares, etc. So that's why he makes these ridiculous statements. And here's the problem. Instead of actually being honest with some of these women and saying, hey, listen, maybe the problem is you're intelligent, but also the problem might be the fact that, you aren't taking care of yourself, or you're in a city where there aren't a lot of great people to date, or maybe there's certain things in your personality that make it difficult for you to date. Instead of her taking accountability for the fact that she's single, instead he's just saying, no, the reason why you're single is because you're intelligent. This is ultimate gaslighting and extreme levels of pandering.
Are literally going after the top 10% of men.
Literally, no, they're not. I swear that this claim derived from a study from a dating app ages ago.
Yikes, that video didn't age well. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you want so you can look up the study for yourself. This came from Cambridge University Press just last week that highlighted 58% of women's relationships are with the most promiscuous 10% of men. The data source for this is the GSS from 2014 to 2024. Check out the winner-take-all dynamic. The study illustrates an extreme Pareto distribution, that's the 80-20 rule, in modern mating. While the majority of men have very few partners, a small elite group of highly promiscuous men account for the majority of encounters. Additionally, this is Dr. Deborah So of York University. She has a PhD in psychology. She recently wrote a book. The book is called Sextinction and goes over modern intimacy. In the book, she goes over findings social media creates the illusion of connection while actually isolating people and pitting men against each other. Again, that's everyone I've been showing you. All these content creators I'm showing you are literally trying to pit women against men. There's no argument against this. They are not holding women accountable, and in every single one of their videos, men are bad, women are good. Dating apps produce choice paralysis, ghosting and ego boosting, swiping with no intent to meet, porn, OnlyFans, and AI companions are replacing real intimacy, and people are starting to prefer them, and women are outpacing men economically, creating a hypergamy mismatch where successful women can't find suitable partners and men feel invisible. Additionally, half of Gen Z has a diagnosed mental disorder, with 90% of those being anxiety, making dating feel impossible. Endocrine disruptors and hormonal birth control are blunt desired biologically. Men who are unemployed or under-earning are largely removed from the mating market entirely, and the gender split. Men are hit dramatically harder. 1 in 3 men versus 1 in 5 women have had 0 partners in the last year. So these female panders do not want to understand, or do not want you to understand, that there's actually a crisis when it comes to dating, and it's not all men's fault. They want to hand wave this away because any talk about the top 10 women choosing the top 10% of men just shows hypergamy, and they can't let you have that. Once again, I just want you to understand, whenever you're dealing with someone,
And I think there was a lady talking about a man is not going to bend every time you get emotional. Notice. And she went on to say that's where the confusion starts. Now you'll notice she didn't say a man won't bend. She said a man's not going to bend every time you get emotional. Modern women have a tendency of getting emotional a lot. A lot of times modern women, they allow their emotions to get the best of them, and then they want to make it seem like everybody else needs to fall in line with their emotions. But that's not the case, and a man is not going to do that. A man doesn't need to do that. If we're going by your emotions and your emotions go up and down, we're going to be in trouble, right? Like she said, every woman, a lot of these modern women out here, they want a masculine man until a masculine man steps on the scene. And he does what masculine men do. And you like to say, oh, he's toxic, he's emotionally unavailable. No, he's not available to be manipulated. And that's what you're looking for, a man. You want a man to be available so you can manipulate him.
I think that most women, all women, have a problem with accountability. So that makes sense. So
I'm only, because when you said most, I was going to let it rock. But then you said all. So that's the only reason why I'm like, I'm going to say something. Me personally, I love accountability. I'll hold myself accountable before I blame anyone else first. And I need the next person to hold me accountable.
Okay, let me ask. Let's check this out.
Okay.
The last guy you broke up with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Name one thing you did wrong.
I feel like to address things that bothered me right away instead of letting it build and fester. And I wasn't doing that. I was not doing that.
Were you giving him?
No, not at the time.
Yeah. Why didn't you mention that? That other junk doesn't even matter. You wasn't taking accountability, you see? Look, called her right then and there. Men don't even care about the other stuff you was talking about. We don't even look at that as a negative. It's just like, whatever, chick, go sit down. But not give that is the negative. That is the thing that isn't good in a relationship. But you was hiding that. You skipped over not giving him, which means that you really wasn't trying to take accountability. You started talking about some hogwash.
Gotcha, bitch.
I'm dating this man, right? I break up with him. I immediately regret this decision when I broke up with him. I was in the trenches afterwards. Then I was like, no, I gotta hold to it. Gotta hold to my decision. This is the right decision. Blah, blah, blah. I gotta hold to my decision. Couldn't do it. Tried to hold out, couldn't do it. Ended up start texting him. He's flat out ignoring me.
You guys, I'm telling you right now, even if that man wanted to get back together with her just as badly as she wanted to get back together with him, he made the right move. You do not want to be responsive to her reaching out to you just like that and to just be willing to give anything that she asks for, because automatically that woman will lose some respect for you. And I should give you the caveat, okay, this is in cases where she broke up with you for no good reason. Like, you didn't do anything to make her angry. I think in the cases where if you did something that was really bad on your part, you can be responsive and she can still maintain respect for you. But if you literally did nothing and then she experiences you getting back on the hook without her really giving anything to you, when she's really the one that did you dirty, this is the only way to handle it. And by the way, that woman ends up calling him and texting him time and time again, not obsessively, but here and there. And then at one point, one night, she tells him that her grandma, and he didn't even respond to that. But later on, they did end up getting back together. Then he found out that her grandma didn't actually. So there's that.
Okay, so I made a post recently advocating for me, I love a simpy man for me. Like, I will literally only date a man who simps after me. And it doesn't mean I don't have respect for the man. It means I do have respect for the man. If a man isn't utterly obsessed with me, I don't want the man. And I will argue this until I'm blue in the face, because any self-respecting woman wants at least a measure of that, because they're accustomed to getting treated well. My standards have been set by men that I have dated. I haven't set them. My family hasn't set them. My friends haven't set them. Men have set them. So that should be telling to people arguing about, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. No. Just because you're not the type of man that would treat a woman well, it doesn't mean that you should be advocating for other types of men to do the same things that you do. Wish people would understand, because they're like, oh, you wouldn't respect a simp, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing worse than a man that simps over you that you don't like. So, any bad experiences that you've had simping after someone as a man, it's because the woman didn't like you. I don't know why this is so hard to comprehend. If a woman likes you, there is nothing more attractive than a man that's simping after her, okay? If someone doesn't like your simping, it's because they don't like you. I hope this helps.
The biggest problems with men today is you can't walk away. You better learn how to walk away and cut a chick off. Because if you don't, you're going to be the fool. You're going to be the one that's left a dried up husk, because when she's done what you believe, she'll walk away. But here's the thing. Guys, when you learn to walk away from a woman, you're in a position of power. Ladies, many of you don't walk away. Many of y'all just check out. Y'all ghost. Y'all leave. And I'm going to tell you right now, look at the way a woman ends her relationships. If she's the kind of woman who flakes, dips out, ghosts, leaves things, you need to know if you're dealing with a woman who can handle conflict. Why is this important? Because a woman who can't handle conflict, they run.
Talk about it.
It's either you first or relationships first. You cannot serve two masters. If it's my truth, my life, my field, my this, my that, cool, over there.
Men don't pull back because they stopped caring. They pull back because you made home feel like a battlefield. When a man withdraws, it's not rejection, it's self-preservation. He didn't change on you. He evolved into what your energy taught him he needed to become. You mistake his silence for weakness, his boundaries for coldness, his self-control for lack of passion. But here's what you're missing. A man who's protecting his peace isn't trying to hurt you. He's trying to survive you. He stops opening up because every vulnerable moment gets thrown back in his face. He stops trying because nothing he does lands right anymore. And if that stings, good. Because the woman who makes home undefeatable, who brings softness instead of combat, who chooses to receive instead of resist, she doesn't have to worry about him pulling away. Energy matches energy. If he's distant, check what you've been giving him to come home to. Chaos, criticism, or indifference. He'll mirror every bit of it. Stop weaponizing your emotions every time he sets a boundary. Stop punishing him with silence when he refuses to argue. Fix that and watch how fast everything shifts.
Not to mention that we don't have a loneliness epidemic. We have a loser epidemic.
What we actually have is an epidemic of single motherhood where it's praised, and single fatherhood is demonized because what did he do wrong? We have an epidemic of women who would rather put their butt cheeks on the internet on OnlyFans rather than to be in the kitchen and learn how to cook and clean. We also have an epidemic of women who pretend to care about men's mental health while they have their link in bio for their spicy pages. We also have an epidemic of bitter baby moms who would rather drag the father of their children through court, have him pay hundreds and thousands of dollars, and only get 30% of time with his children while simultaneously calling him a loser for working too much, even though the court systems value the mother's home over the father's home. So they're proud to destabilize the father of their children and call him a loser rather than to maintain a healthy co-parenting relationship for their children. But yet it's only the men that are losers. We have an epidemic of women who would rather have men pay their entire way, pay their bills, pay for meals, pay for their hair, pay for their nails, constantly have their hand out because they're entitled. But then she'll actually dump him for the next guy that has no job, no career, nothing going for him because, he was emotionally there for her. We have an epidemic where it's cool for women to claim that all men are narcissistic and we have an epidemic of women assuming that these men are going to come in and be Prince Charming because they've watched too many Disney movies. We have an epidemic of women expecting men to be equal to them, but it's only equal to what benefits them. Because we all know that the majority of women only care about equality where it suits them and will fit their lifestyle the best. We have an epidemic of where women want men to court them and be interested in them only to accuse them later on of love bombing them and being narcissists. We have an epidemic of women who gaslight men into thinking that they're happy, and they try to convince them that they shouldn't go 50-50 because the reality is that the majority of women can't even afford his 50% in the first place. But y'all aren't ready for that kind of conversation. We have an epidemic of lack of accountability because when she cheats, it's still his fault because he wasn't emotionally there. But when he cheats, it's still his fault. So no matter what, the men are getting blamed for it regardless. We live in a world where women will project their insecurities about being broke this and being broke that when really it's them who are broke themselves. So even courtship is out the window. We have an epidemic of women who will claim SA or grape or claim that he's if he even looks her direction. We have an epidemic where if a man says anything wrong on a date, he's going to end up on Are We Dating the Same Guy, where these women can slander men without any consequences to their actions. Oh, and let's not forget, even if you are a good guy and you show up and you're emotionally in tune and you're able to, give her everything that she wants, she's still going to dump you because the good guy is still boring.
And Cooley was talking to a woman about, what did you do in the relationship? And she said, well, I didn't bring up things as fast as I should have. That's not what we're talking about. Because eventually, or essentially, it's falling back on the man. And it's saying, well, he was doing a lot of stuff to me that I didn't like, but I should have, at some point in time, I should have been woman enough to bring it up. Yes, that could be something that you can improve on, speaking up for yourself. But what did you do wrong? What is it that you could improve on? Like something specific to you. What is it? That's what we're looking for. Modern women usually don't have that answer because they don't be thinking about that. They be thinking about all of the stuff that they did right. And a man he's just a trash man and he did me wrong. That's it. I'm a perfect little angel.
You need to figure out what the you want. Women need to come together. I don't understand how women have a T app specifically revolved around talking about every man that they've ever dated, but they don't have an app to talk to each other about their mentality or why they think the way that they do. So how the do you legitimately go 5 to 10 years talking about how men need to stop being disrespectful and catcalling and men need to respect women, and then in the same breath turn around when you're not getting validated and not getting attention and go, men are weird because they don't talk to women anymore. Men aren't men anymore because they don't approach girls. When y'all are literally the reason for that. Y'all need to start being accountable, and I know you don't know what accountability is. Men used to force you to be accountable back in the day, and they gave you way too many rights, and now you're walking around mindlessly and aimlessly, not knowing how to operate in the world. But you need to get your together. You need to know that you're a dunce, and if you don't like what men are doing, look at what women have done to cause men to be that.
See, hypergamy is more brutal than I actually thought. It actually is. It's more brutal than I thought. They value narcissism, low empathy, low compassion, men who can't communicate or show emotion, men who can't hold relationships. A lot of times even men who can't even hold a job, they like this. Why do they like this? Because he's broken and now they want to change him, they want to fix him, they want to see if they can make him better. So what to do from here? The first thing you need to do is you need to rethink your entire communication pattern. I don't give a crap what any dude teaching how to approach taught you. I don't care what any high value man type guy tried teaching you. I don't care. I don't care about any of it. I'm the furthest thing from a role model that you should even follow. I will never go up there and say, you should be like me. In fact, all I've done is I've tested the raw truth and I've tried to put this out in front of you so that way you can see how this goes. What you're going to see is they don't even value or care about a date. Like, they don't care.
They don't understand that a lot of men, we don't really run away from marriage. We run away from divorce.
That's a fact.
We're not running away from marriage. But you gotta understand, if I found out what marriage is, it's like, I love my girl. What you mean to tell me if I make one mistake, they can ruin me for the rest of my life on one mistake? If she make a mistake, it's cool. She make a mistake, divorce is she just go on about her life. I make a mistake that can cost me for the rest of my, that ain't really fair. You know, one day I want to make my girl that happy because it's truly for her.
Yeah,
and I'm man enough to say men don't look into, and it's coming from somebody who parents been married. I'm 35. My parents been married since I was 5.
Right.
So this coming from a married home couple. I don't. It's just what they done made it to be now.
Right.
It's like, okay, I see married people. It's really a money game now. It seems like it's like I get married. There's no benefits for me. It's no benefits for me but to make her happy. So now if I get married, okay, cool. Now as a man or whoever I am, I haven't made no mistake with my girl for 8 years.
Right.
Never got no Texas, came to her as no woman. No woman came to her as no woman. I'm not on camera. I'm not doing nothing. I done did my thing. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me if I slip up, I do something else, and she just feel like she don't want to give me a chance, she could possibly take half of what I own.
In today's episode of Women Keeping Other Women Single,
I'm like the worst friend to go out with because if a man is talking to you and I don't like that man for you, I'm going to make it very clear that I want him to go away. Okay. I'm the friend who's like, did you even buy her a drink? And then they're like, oh, you ruined it for her. She could have had it all, but you ruined it for her. Yeah, I ruined it for her. It was me. It was me who ruined it, not you who spent 15 minutes talking to her about nothing. And you didn't even offer to buy her a drink or a snack, a mozzarella stick, a pretzel, a peanut. And I vibe. You know what? I'll take it. I will take that.
you know, I'm starting to think there are a group of women out there who are working with these cat food companies, cat supply companies to keep these women single. I really believe there's something going on like that. They're in cahoots or something, and their plan is working to perfection. Now, I know some women are going to listen to this and agree with this young lady, but this is the issue that I have with this. If that girl is talking to that man for 15 minutes, maybe, just maybe, she like him. I mean, I'm just spitballing. I don't know for sure. Now, if your girl told him to leave and he didn't leave, that's one thing. But if she's sitting there having a good conversation with this man, but you don't like it, who are you to tell him to leave? Matter of fact, if I was your homegirl, I would tell you to leave because you are the problem. And how do you know he wasn't about to ask her, do she want a drink or something to eat? How do you know what his actual plan was? Sometimes you get caught up in conversation and you forget about that stuff. How do you know that wasn't his plan? But to be honest with you, it shouldn't matter. If you ladies are out and you want some mozzarella sticks or a drink, get you some mozzarella sticks and a drink. Why you need a man to come buy that, huh? What happened to Miss Independent? What happened to that? Why are y'all sitting there starving and thirsty waiting for some man to buy something? That is ridiculous to me. That man and that woman was having a good conversation, but because you didn't approve, you want to go and mess it up. So now she gonna miss out on her future husband because you wanted some mozzarella sticks. And here's the funny part. If you wasn't sitting there so worried about what your girlfriend was doing, maybe some dude would be up in your face talking to you. But that's not happening, is it? The fact is you're a hater. And if I was your girlfriend, I would go out without you because you shouldn't be dictating what kind of man she needs in her face. So many of you women, it is all about money. It is all about what y'all can get from a man. So when y'all around a chick who won't think like that, it drives y'all crazy. I swear, if there was a list of things that kept women single, it'd go like this: feminism, these eyelashes, pandering men, women, and at the top of the list, single women. Single women are like the Michael Jordan of this. The greatest of all time. They are the absolute worst. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on that. Leave your thoughts in the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.
This is how you do not plan a freaking date.
Wow, with that energy, it sounds like a horror story. I can't wait to hear it.
I am here gonna show you with receipts.
And you brought receipts? This is gonna be so good. I can't wait.
I had been on one date with this man. I think this guy is great. I had such a nice time with him. We had so much fun. We had a lot in common. I could not wait to go on a second date with him.
Ooh, I'm invested. You went out with him, enjoyed it. You told your girlies you were excited to go out with him, couldn't wait to see him again. He must have ruined this.
A week or so later, he finally texts me and is like, hey, are you free Sunday for brunch? I'm like, yeah, great.
Hey, good for you. You were excited to go out with him again, and now you've got plans to do brunch on Sunday. Like, what could have gone wrong?
That Saturday night, he sends me this text, are you still up for brunch?
Good for him. So he's solidifying the plans that he made with you earlier in the week for brunch on Sunday.
Yes, I'm still up for brunch.
Your energy shifted. You don't seem very happy that he's trying to solidify the plans that he made with you earlier in the week about Sunday. Am I reading this wrong?
I could come your way if you know a good spot.
I like this guy. He's asking if there's a place near you so that you don't have to travel as far, and he's gonna also make sure that you enjoy the food at the place where you're gonna go for brunch. Smooth tactics, man.
Okay, let me do the heavy lifting for you, buddy.
What? Huh?
So I give him a list of these places.
Perfect. Now he knows there is food near you that you like. All right.
He says, oh, the Dutch Eye. Not even sure what that means.
I read that differently. I read, oh, the Dutch, like this place is fire. And if you didn't understand him, why didn't you just say that to him?
So then that morning, I get a text from him. Howdy, how does 2 sound?
Okay, so he's still just trying to solidify the plans that he made with you earlier in the week.
I never heard back from him the night before.
Hold up. What do you mean you didn't hear back from him? The last thing that was texted the night before was him saying, ooh, the Dutch, hey, you're the one showing the receipts. You left him on read.
So what do I say? Oh, when I didn't hear back last night about a reservation or anything concrete, I made plans for this afternoon.
Wait, ma'am, what? Huh? I'm so confused.
You cannot, for a second date, try and make plans the morning of.
He didn't. Your whole entire story and your receipts show that he didn't try just the morning of. You said he texted earlier in the week, and then on Saturday, he tried to solidify. You left him on read, and so he's texting you Sunday morning.
And so what is his response? Okay, cool.
That would have been my response too. Okay, cool.
He, I think, got the point.
He for sure got the point. I don't think you do, though. I love this story.
You missed out is what happened. Sorry.
I think he's...
And these modern women are talking about, you know, I didn't ruin it for my girl. Basically stepping in the way of a girl, one of her girlfriends. And the man said, I was about to buy her a drink, but you ruined it for her. Well, you've been talking to her for 15 minutes and you didn't buy her no drink. What is she doing? I mean, where is she going? Oh, I could have been talking to this person. I could have been talking to... Y'all keep on telling us that nobody in the club approaches or nobody at the bar approaches. So you're not talking to anybody. You have time. You came here, you made time. And so now you're here. I'm coming up and talking to you. Well, you talking to me 15 minutes, you ain't give me a drink. I don't need to because there's nobody talking to you. You don't have nothing else to do. Modern women, unfortunately for you, you might not be as important as you think you are. You might not be as important as you feel. And that's okay. That doesn't make you a bum. It just means maybe you're not as high on the scale as you thought you were.
That's why men are walking away from women. Not out of spite, not out of hatred, out of self-preservation. Because the state of modern women today means the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Why? Because they compromise peace instead of multiplying it. They bring noise when a man wants calm. They bring conflict when a man wants clarity. And for men in their 30s and beyond, peace is the empire worth defending. Let's talk about the state of modern women. They've been shaped by culture, by social media, by a system that feeds them endless attention they were never supposed to have. And what does that attention create? Inflated egos, unrealistic expectations, endless insecurity. A woman today is flooded with more validation in a single day, than her grandmother got in an entire lifetime.
Why do we see so many women causing frustration in their relationship when they start dating a man based on a wound that someone else did, not the man in front of them?
Because we've created a generation of narcissistic women. The rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. If you want to be a worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. Every poor choice is glamorized and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. They are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I.
Men melt when a woman speaks softly. But a lot of women don't want to hear that because they think being sweet makes them look weak. But that's a huge mistake because a woman's greatest power is her softness. Think about it. If he wanted another alpha energy in his house, he would have married another man. So if you ever have caught yourself thinking, he never does anything that I ask him to, it's probably because you talk to him like you're another guy challenging him. Try using your feminine, soft, lighter tone of voice more often and just watch how differently he treats you. I've never heard a no from my husband when I speak to him gently. He's even told me that he can't resist when I ask that way. If it feels hard to switch into that sweet version of you, it's because you've permanently turned on that masculine energy without even noticing. And that puts your relationship at risk.
If you're a man out there that's watching this, you need to start friend zoning more girls. Friend zoning women is the key to having great friendships and networking with anyone in the world. You are 1 to 3 hot women away from networking with anyone. I mean, like literally, you name them, you're 1 to 3 women away from them. The mistake that guys make is the second you meet a beautiful girl, you just start hitting on her, acting all weird, doing too much. And this is a problem. If you don't end up marrying them, you are going to get exiled from the group and everyone that they know. Not only that, but their friends can't be friends with you no more. You're just slowly cutting off so many awesome people out of your life because you can't contain yourself. Start friend zoning them.
Women need to stop dating down. If you want to do charity work, volunteer. As a divorce lawyer, I see it far too often. A woman with degrees, drive, discipline, and dreams shackled to a man whose only ambition is comfort. She thinks love will level the playing field, and he thinks love means never being asked to grow. We don't talk about this enough, but dating down is a long-term liability, not just emotionally, but financially, energetically, and psychologically. When you date someone who isn't in alignment with your values, your work ethic, your lifestyle, or your ambition, you're not just carrying a relationship, you're carrying the weight of 2 lives and pretending it's love. He will let you pay for dinner, co-sign the car, help him find himself, and call you materialistic when you ask for bare minimum effort. The worst part, you'll justify it. You'll say he has potential, you'll say he's healing, you'll say we're a team, but only one of you is playing offense. Here's what I've learned watching hundreds of women walk away from these kinds of relationships. The resentment builds slowly. First, you stop asking for help because you know he won't follow through. Then you stop dressing up around him because he doesn't notice anyway. And eventually you stop dreaming out loud because every vision turns into a debate. And suddenly you realize you didn't just lower your standards, you erased them. Dating down doesn't make you generous, it makes you drained. It teaches you to silence your needs so someone else can feel secure. It teaches you to be grateful for crumbs because you once had nothing. But crumbs are not a meal, and pity is not a foundation. I'm not saying relationships are transactions, I'm saying they're partnerships. And if you're constantly the one showing up, funding the vision, fixing the mood, and holding everything together, then you're not dating, you're parenting.
Guys, you hear that? Because a lot of times you guys do that with women. You don't care if she has a job. You don't care if she could be stupid and y'all are still willing to date them. So you want to stop doing that, right? You want to date women that are on your level. So if she's not as successful as you, then don't even bother. Don't waste your time. If she's not able to make sure that you're okay, cook and clean and make sure that you have, you're ready for work, throw her out the door. Next. You don't need that.
Marriage was invented to control men's resources. You work, she spends. You stay bound. She can leave whenever she wants and take half of everything you built. Family courts side with her 90% of the time. Men lose custody, men lose money, men lose their future. The smartest men see this coming and never sign. A wise man stays disciplined, thinks long-term, and builds his life around purpose, stoicism, and the Lord Jesus Christ. Not contracts and emotional dependency.
This is why marriage is a bad idea for men. A marriage used to give a man a stable life, a life in which he was enjoying the support of a wife, while he was providing financial security. But today the divorce rates are so high that men often find themselves having to pay half of what they've made during the marriage. And because the traditional roles of men being the breadwinners and women being the homemakers are no longer the norm, there is a lot of confusion. There's more equality, and because women work nowadays, they've become way more independent and they have less time to be busy with playing the traditional role of the wife. But men find it hard to adapt to this new role of not just being the financial provider, but also having to help around the house because the wife doesn't have time anymore to do it all alone. And although women wanted to work and therefore they entered the man's world, men never asked to enter the women's world and to also become homemakers. And that's why many men don't want to get married anymore. They feel it's a ripoff. They think that at the end of the day, it will cost them a lot of money and it will cost their peace of mind because they don't have a peaceful life at home.
When I was dating in my 40s, I did an experiment where I lied about my age. I was 45 and I said that I was 35. And I put my profile out there and like instantly night and day matches. Like suddenly all these super cute guys that were my age. And I remember thinking like, what the hell? Like it was like going into a secret room at a club, you know? So when I would match with these guys, I would like text like maybe 1 or 2 messages max. And then I would say, hey, for what it's worth, just want to let you know, like all of my pictures are recent and I'm your age. I'm not 10 years younger than you. We're the same age. I'm not 10 years younger than you. I'm only 3 years younger than you, not 13 years younger than you. And I would put it in that way to just kind of show the other person, we went to the same high school. You know, like we are in the same zone. We are pretty similar. I'm not too old for you. A lot of times it worked. You know, went on lots of dates and met some really cute guys that were my age. That felt really good. The caveat, and really big caveat to all of this, is like my boyfriend now, we are exactly the same age and he was somebody who did not want to date someone 10 years younger. So had I been lying about my age when we were on the app, I never would have met him because I wouldn't have popped up in his search criteria. So it's like, I don't know. I can't say for sure if it's a good thing to do. You can try it. If you're going to lie about your age, then that's the way that I would frame it, because it really puts it on the other person to say, like, am I really not going to give someone that I went to high school with a chance? Like, I think that that's what it's saying. If you want specific feedback on your profile and approach, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s, then get in touch. I'm a dating coach and I do this all the time.
I guess I'm not sure when women say men have to find time to help out around the house. Men were helping out around the house. They were. I'm not doing the same things that you do, but there's stuff around the house that I have to do that you don't do. You're not the only one in the house that's doing something. You're not the only one in the house that's being of some assistance or some use. You're not the only one in the house that's got something going on. I mean, my God, well, I made the doctor's appointments. You can do that online. As a matter of fact, a lot of these doctors now, they be calling you, okay, when's the next time you want to come in for a checkup? Checkup made. The dentist office, they be calling you. If you got to take the car in, which you want the man to do, they be calling you, when you going to come in and get this car checked out. It's about time for you to come get your car checked out. When you coming for this, when you coming for that. I mean, when y'all go shopping, it's not like you have to look for a way to save money. They gonna give it to you. Here's coupons. Go buy my product. Y'all be acting like y'all be doing so much, and you don't. Here's an easier way to do laundry. Buy my product. Here's an easier way to get soap off of these plates. Buy my product. Here's an easier way to wash bottles, wash dishes, wash clothes, dry clothes. Here's an easier way to cook. Buy my product. Not like y'all. It's not like y'all's life is complicated. Y'all make it seem like y'all cooking and cleaning from scratch. You got a robot cleaning and mopping. You got the air fryer going. You're not doing nothing. The dishwasher going. The washer machine is going. What we doing? You got somebody from Uber, from DoorDash shopping. What we talking about? You sitting at the house. Come on now.